Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero and pop culture media. That's video games, movies, TV shows. We talk about some news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. I am Mo Poupée, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a spooky Halloween night. But besides that, I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's spooky season. I don't know how you've been sort of doing. I think you were talking about doing some medieval streaming, but we Jennifer and we did our little Halloween thing by watching what's some a horrible movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Among other things. And we watched, we watched the newish movie, Barbarian. I don't know if you heard it. It's on HBO Max. It's pretty good. Pretty good horror movie, actually, if you want to check that out. But we're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about superheroes. In particular, the things that are happening in the world of superhero movies and TVs, et cetera, et cetera. And so this week, we got a neat little list of issues to talk about. We're going to talk about the trash take of the week, coming from a YouTuber, I suppose a popular YouTuber that's got something to say about race swapping. And spoiler alert, it's a trash take. It's a super trash take. We're going to talk about some weird movement to try to get people to not go see Wakanda Forever. What the hell's with that? Oh, WB apparently tried to lure Feige away from Marvel, and we're gonna talk about what were they thinking about. Yahya Abdul-Mateen confirmed for Wonder Man. How that's pretty cool, and we're gonna talk about that. Where there's a casting for the Penguin TV show that spins out of the Batman, and there's a rumor about Sony and Marvel making another deal. And so all of that is what we got to talk about. Ladi, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. And you know what? Before I forget, don't forget to, if y'all haven't done it yet, hit that like button, hit subscribe, help your brothers out getting this podcast moving forward. So anyway, to the news. Ladi, I feel like every time I put a trash take up, it seems to circle back around to some of the same shit. You know what the same shit is? Fandom menacing. Or in this case, doing a racism. Lottie, have you ever heard people talk about reverse racism or something like that? Shit like that. Like what's the idea? When you hear reverse racism, it's usually that it's first of all it's a stupid word, it's a stupid phrase, but reverse is it's either racism or not racism. But reverse racism is explicitly when I suppose white people have racism against them, and so the reason why I bring this up is because it kind of plays into this whole. I mean, I didn't want to call it controversy, but all of the bitching and complaining about race swapping that happens. It happens nowadays. And we've talked about it before about the reasoning why race swapping happens, because of overrepresentation, this artificial overrepresentation of white people in, all these different stories and everything, that, kind of erases the existence of non-white people. And now they're sort of dialing that back by kind of recasting characters who don't have to be white, even though they were portrayed that way originally. And so what does that have to do with the trash take of the week by this YouTuber named Ninja Knight? Because apparently he made some stupid ass video, which I didn't watch. I just kind of read this little article recapping it, and from Bounding into Comics, which I guess they're going to be a go-to source of bullshit takes from rando internet people. Anyway, he had a problem with. I'm assuming he had a problem with the race swapping of Hawkman and Cyclone, and made a big to do about it because I guess the concept art showed them as white and now they're black, and so I thought, Lottie, we should just like chop this stupid ass reasoning down to size. Well, let me ask you, Lottie, is it super vital that any one character for like Hawkman? Let's think about Hawkman. Is it vital that he be a white dude? Carter Hall be a white guy?
Okay, here's my first thing. The dude has 208 followers. Like, how did this? Like, what?
I just wonder.
I have over double the followers he has. Like, little talk. I have 550 followers. Like, what? His opinion is so irrelevant that even the Fandom Menace doesn't care. Because real talk, I have never, not a single person, even from the Fandom Menace, said this movie is woke. Like, what? Like, because here's the thing. About race swapping. I can understand when it's a iconic character like Superman, Batman, or whatever, or when race swapping changes the identity of the character. Hawkman and Hawkwoman are fucking aliens.
Yeah. And
no one cares.
And even if you take away the Thanagarian thing, even if you take that away, they were before were Egyptian.
Exactly. So but that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things that it's like you said, they're Egyptian, Thanagarian. It's one of those things that it's like, and plus, nobody like Hawkman is so irrelevant that Hawkgirl is way more relevant than Hawkman is. So, and everybody loved the character. They loved the actor. So, get that out of my face. And then Cyclone, who knows?
Nobody fucking knows them.
Who knows who Cyclone is? Like, literally. How is Dr. Fate wearing a suit? Because he wears a suit when he's not. I mean, what is this? Like, if I could comment on this guy's thing, I'll say literally, you're saying because Dr. Fate is wearing a suit and he puts on the helmet, that is woke. Have you not read a single comic with Dr. Fate in it? He is literally a professor. You
what this is, right?
And clearly, the one more thing, Adam Smasher is not the original Adam. It says it. I mean, bro, they literally said it. He is not the original. Jackasses, man.
It's you know what all this is. This is just mediocre ass white dudes. Afraid for their place in the world. That's what all this comes out of. Like, if this has got to be about, I don't normally like to break our this sort of stuff down to racial political stuff, but it's got to be said. It's political. This dude made it political, and this really is about insecurity of place in the world. If you can't, people are, will be like, why does it matter if there's a black character? Y'all make such a big deal out of it. Why is representation why y'all make such a big deal out of representation? The same people that say that turn around and cry when they lose some representation. Now, mind you, there's, it's not like there's no white dudes in Black Adam. There's still two. But there's just, because there's not a vast majority representation of white dudes, these, mediocre ass, Fandom Menace, chuds, they lose their shit because they don't see enough white and enough male. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, when I read that article, I'm like, it's woke in what?
Oh my god!
I was like, in what fucking way? I'm trying to figure. I was like, I saw the movie. The only agenda seemed to be keep invaders off of our soil, and we want to kill everything. I'm like, just die.
Listen, I got to get this off my chest. Scroll down to the comments. And I want to highlight this one comment. This dude said the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. Having black people play Egyptians for characters is the same as having white people play as Egyptians. You sound fucking, oh my God. You sound fucking retarded. You sound retarded. You are a stupid, idiotic human being. You think you're smart, but you are literally stupid. Have you not seen a single Egyptian painting? They're brown. Oh my God! Like that is retarded.
I kind of loved like this whole. This is an indication that Bounding into Comics is probably on that, anti-woke bullshit. Because I tend to look at anti-woke as just being like, oh, you are pro, you're pro like all of the terrible things about, the past. You don't want to give that up, so you're anti-woke. You can't. First of all, you can't explain what that is. But even if you could explain it, it just boils down to, too many vaginas, too many brown people. That's what it boils down to. Too many gays.
Egyptians are not black people.
So I'm just as usual, comment sections trash, and
oh my God,
and this whole
that infuriated
this
me.
entire article, this whole take trash as fuck. This
oh my
God,
God,
Ninja Knight's a fucking idiot, and JB Augustine, why'd you waste any kind of fucking time making this? And you know what? We're kind of dumb for wasting our time talking about this too, but call trash where it is, and that is trash.
Yeah, that is just, it's just, I cannot believe there are human beings that still exist that say Egyptians are not black. And unfortunately, these people are having kids.
Even if you say they're not black, they are browner. And plus, let's not also forget, even though what you see in the media is all Arab-looking people, there are in fact Ethiopians, because Ethiopia and Egypt are right next to each other.
Exactly.
Ethiopians have been in Egypt for a long ass time.
Exactly, man.
I mean, just like this whole idea, it's bullshit.
Just brain dead. They're just brain dead, man.
Yeah, but
human beings like that exist.
Anyway, I think we've belabored that a bit, but trash takes, we're gonna keep on highlighting them because we got to. We gotta put people on blast when they're being stupid. Speaking of being stupid, Matt, dude, you texted me about this, and I was like, "Are you serious? Who are these fools?" What you said on social media, trying to tell what did you say? Trying to tell people not to go see Black Panther 2. You said trying to tell white people that it's anti-black to go see Black Panther 2 opening weekend or at all.
They said if you go and see Black Panther opening weekend and you are not black, you are anti-black.
That sounds to me like Clarence Thomas is running some fucking game or something. It sounded to me like Uncle Ruckus is like he's out there waving a flag, Confederate flag in front of the theater or something. Who are these? You know what? I don't even want to know who these people are. I just want to talk about this being a real thing and why are we doing this to ourselves? You know what? Who are these Clarence Thomas, wannabes that are trying to shit on Black Panther 2?
It will be like I saw this a while ago. I saw the first thing all the way back when the first trailer came out months ago. And I just because it was just one person. But now that the movie is getting close to coming out, it's starting to rage a firestorm. And I'm hearing like people, from my job that are white telling me they're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to go watch the movie now. And they're like, why? Because they're like, it's just people are making it seem like I shouldn't watch it. And I was like, wait, what? And he like showed me some of the TikToks. And I'm like, what the heck? Are they trying to? What is this?
Let me just say, for your colleague, to remind him, one black person don't speak for everybody. Let's just understand. There could be 1,000 people on TikTok saying this, It's 1,000 out of 7 billion people. Don't fucking listen to. I mean, I guess that means don't listen to us. But like, that's like, why would you take that as them talking for all black people? That's crazy.
Well, it's not really. It's not that he's like. It's not that he said it was. It was gonna. It's the fact that it's trending. Like it's actually people are retweeting this. People are forwarding these TikToks. Like they're actually for this. That it's sounding like there might be like probably not in Tallahassee, but in probably big cities, there are going to be black people that are going to tell white people don't go to watch this movie.
Who
You know
are
what I
they?
mean?
I mean, I don't understand.
Hey,
this.
it's just I listen. Like I said, when I went, I didn't really ever talked about this, but when I went to see the first Black Panther, I showed up in a traditional Nigerian abada, which is the highest class suit that you can wear, that a Nigerian can wear. I had a lot of black people tell me that I am not wearing traditional African clothing. I'm serious. A lot of them, not just like one or two. It was like 20 of them saying, "What am I wearing? That's not Nigerian clothing."
Right.
I mean, they're like, "That's not African clothing." I'm just looking at them like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So now I don't like it because of that. I was going to like I said when I remember I was like when Black Panther 2 I was going to do this for every Black Panther, but because of that I'm not doing it. I'm
Oh
just gonna show
man,
up in regular
no!
clothes.
Hey, don't let the haters. I was going to, but not that, but I had my little shirt that somebody bought me from South Africa, and I have no idea where that thing is, and it makes me sad because I want to wear it. I have to represent, you know. That's the point. The point of this whole thing is why is there any kind of campaign at all? I like seriously? What's the reasoning? I'm curious. What is the reasoning here? Because I don't get it. I have not seen this. This is not something that comes across my my desk, if you will, social media wise. What's the reasoning?
I don't know. I I honestly I'm not sure. I mean, I I would think they will people who actually will want this movie to be pushed, but it's like they want to like it's almost like they want to own it. You know what I mean? Like this is mine and nobody else should see
Yeah.
it. This is ours. This is ours.
That's so ridiculous though. This thing can't make $1 billion+ on just black people, and and let
Exactly.
me tell you what, that opening weekend has got to be gangbusters, and I'm not kidding. That opening weekend needs to be 130 plus because
Yeah.
just I mean they spend a good amount of money on it, but in order to be seen as a success, it's got to be because remember the first one made over $1 billion. This one has to have it needs legs to make $1 billion, but it needs to start out strong. It can't do can't do Black Adam money at all.
Yeah.
It's got to do it's got because a huge win would be 200 mil, but 150 mil, 130 mil is probably baseline, and they're thinking of going more than that. So that's only going to happen if not only a bunch of people go see the movie, but like there ain't enough black people to make that happen. There ain't enough African and black people to make that happen. So it's dissuading white. That makes no damn sense to me. So like I said, it sounds like some Uncle Ruckus shit. So we need to
Uncle.
they need to squash that shit because he if Uncle Ruckus was watching first of all he wouldn't be watching the first Black Panther.
No, he would. He
But
would go to the
but if
movie theater
somebody
and
did,
throw a
yeah,
brick at the screen.
yeah, if he did somehow watch the first Black Panther, he would be cheering for Claw, or he'd be cheering. So that's what I'm talking about. Like that's some Uncle Ruckus shit. So you need to chill that. Thought maybe that should be our trash take number 2 of the week. Because god dang, I cannot believe that's the shit we gotta deal with. Like
Yeah.
Kevin, these young people on TikTok, they need to get their shit together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree.
our next bit of news is uh, we find out like this is just an interesting little tidbit. So we know that James Gunn and Peter Safran are co-chair, co-CEOs of DC Films now. It's not even DC Films though, is it? Is it? But either way, the DC universe, as they call it. But did you know that they actually contacted Kevin Feige to try to get to see if he wanted to come over and take over?
Hmm.
And since you haven't heard about Kevin Feige, the CEO of DC, I'm going to say that he said no. And in the Kevin Feige way, they say he politely declined. Well, there's two things here. One, what kind of like cojones to just straight up go ask your rival boss, do you want to work for us? And two, like, was that like, I wondered, did they think that this was actually a real thing that could happen? Like, what that they were going to sweeten the pot enough to get him away from there? And like, is there any kind of scenario in which maybe Kevin Feige would say yes to a DC? So, I mean, Lottie, like any one of those, what do you think?
No, impossible. You, I'm gonna just be honest. There's just no way you're gonna be able to sway him away from DC. I mean, from Marvel, because uh, right now he can pretty much do whatever he wants. Like, why all of a sudden would he leave? You know what I mean? There's just I can't see it. Like, you, you'll have to pay him maybe double or triple what he's making, because it's not like he's in a situation where he's like being oppressed and Disney's like not paying him well, and none of his stuff is he's in. It's like trying to get Nick Saban to leave Alabama to go to Clemson. Like, I mean, it's a good job and all, but why would he leave where he's at for literally a lateral job,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not as good, and he knows the people he's working with. He's
Yeah. Yep. Well, and it wouldn't be quite lateral. It would be a slight improvement. Because James Gunn and Peter Safran, you know who their boss is? Their boss is David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers. So they report to him. They don't. There's not a person above them. As of now, though, Kevin Feige does have someone above him. He
okay.
used to be Alan Horn. They have I forget who it is now, but there is somebody between him and the CEO. So it would be a bit of a but on the other hand, you gotta recognize Feige is in the midst of possibly one of the greatest long term plans, public not publishing, but filmmaking plans in the history of the industry. Like he's literally been the guy running the show as the MCU has gone from one movie, in '08 to now, like 3-4 movies a year plus TV shows, etc. He is the man. Why would he trade that out for a very let's just call it what it is, a house built on extremely shaky ground over at
Yeah.
DC? Like, I'm sure he'd like the challenge, but he's already done that. Like he's done that house built on shaky ground shit already, and now he's got the MCU on a firm foundation, such that it can make average to slight somewhat above average stuff, and people are still down with it. DC has got a far you know way to go to get to where the MCU is right now, and I cannot imagine that he's looking to do that again. Not really. I think if anything, his next move is to be the head of, if he's going to move up from Marvel, it's to be the man in charge of, all film output at Disney or at another place, because he can. So I think it was very ballsy of them to just be like, so you want to come work for us? And I bet you that they were willing to throw a bag, because I know they threw a bag at Saffron and Gunn. I know they were probably willing to go more for Feige. But what's huge balls on them to just ask that. And thank God Feige said no. Just like, thank the Lord he said no, because as much as I'd love for him to write the DC ship, we're talking about at least 10 years before it's all good. So no thanks. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Moving on, we now have confirmation of something we talked about. Probably, was it a week or two ago? I think it was probably 2 weeks ago. Confirmation. We now have a Wonder Man in the MCU, and it is who we said it might be, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Thank God for that, by the way. That's some damn good news. Let me say. I mentioned why that he's on the rise right now. He's Black Manta in the DC universe. He was Dr. Manhattan in the TV version of Watchmen. He was Candyman. He was in a really good episode of Black Mirror. This guy's star is on the rise. And let's just also be honest. The guy looks like a fucking movie star. Right? Am I wrong? Dude looks like a fucking movie star. And he's hella fit. He's pretty much, you can't ask for anything better to play Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, who is in fact a movie star in the MCU, or would be in the MCU, but also happens to have superpowers. Ladi, I don't know how much you know of this guy's work, but just seeing what the guy looks like and everything, and hearing what I had to say, we have a Wonder Man, man. So what do you think?
Yeah, I know his work. I just know that some people are probably going like, oh, well, why did they make Wonder Man black?
Can I just tell you, I was hoping, because I've gotten to the point, and we talked about fandom in this earlier. I'm gonna keep on banging this drum. They're so mad about shit like this happening. I've gotten to the point where I just want to troll the fuck out of them. I want them to race swap everything. Every fucking thing that they can race swap, do it. Because I want to hear these little bitches cry. I want them to cry. But truth be told, this is great casting. This dude is legit. He's skilled. He's got all the tools necessary. The only complaint, if anyone complains about, because you always hear them like, we just want the best person for the job. No, you want the best white guy for the job, because this guy is clearly qualified. And the only different thing that would disqualify them in any of these guys' heads is because he's black, and that's it. So, anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Here's my only thing about it is like, I don't know. For what I'm seeing, he's not that big of a. He's not that big of a character. You know what I mean? So whenever I see people getting mad or upset about it, I'm like, he's not a huge. He's not big. Like, I can understand if, like I said, I can understand iconic characters. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't even talk about. Like, I remember I was talking about this one person when we were talking about. He says, "Well, they don't really waste swap black characters." I said, yeah, they have done it before. He's like, what do you mean? I said, did you know X-23 originally was black? What? I said, yeah, the original X-23 was black. They changed her to Asian and then Latina in the movie. You didn't see black people getting all upset or mad, or me. But I know the original X-23 was black.
Yeah.
I said they've done it before. They have already swapped black characters into whites or Asians. Yeah. So they just do it.
Well, that whole little argument is dumb anyway, because the number, if you look at it purely by numbers, the number of white characters versus the number of not white characters, there's way more white characters. So if you race swap a black character, there's already a minority within in superhero whatever. So there's far fewer black characters, and you race swap one, you're literally throwing one more white person on top of all of these other white characters that already exist. Whereas if you race swap one white character, turn them into Asian, black, whatever you have to say, there's still a ton of other white characters. That's the I don't know why I have to explain this to anyone, that because they're of overrepresentation, if you lose one character, you're still overrepresented. Like, just chill the fuck out.
Like I said, he's not a popular character.
People don't know who he is.
Exactly. They're just saying that because they see black guy, comic book character. Was he originally white?
Yeah, and even, like I said, they don't know who he is. But people have seen Yahya Abdul-Mateen, right? They don't know who this character is. Therefore, it's not relevant to most people that watch. The only people who give a fuck about it are those who have read the comics. And hey, newsflash, almost nothing about the MCU is just like the comics. It's a riff on it. It's definitely a take on it. It's not, almost none of it is exactly the same. So, yeah, you still got your. If you want Simon Williams to be some white guy, that's an actor, you got that. Go read your fucking comic books. That's not what's in the MCU. Like people need to get over that. Like, and this isn't just comic book fans. This is fans of books and shit like that get turned into other things. That thing you read, that's its own thing. This other one, this is a different story. That's why Harry Potter, that's why Daniel Radcliffe didn't wear green contacts, because even though it's really fucking important that he has green eyes in the book, it is irrelevant in the movie. Absolutely has no relevance on anything. Right? That's why he didn't wear green contacts. Where are all the people that are mad about the erasure of green-eyed people when it came to Harry Potter?
Yeah.
They're not anywhere because, it's not fucking important. But it is important that there is a little more representation of minorities within the MCU. And so if we can race swap essentially a character no one's seen before in the MCU that doesn't really isn't really
no one cares about.
Yeah, it's not iconic, and that no one cares about it in the sense that no one knows who the hell he is.
This is almost like he's almost C. He's like a C to D tier.
Yeah,
because it's I'm not a comic book buff, but I know enough, and I never heard of Wonder Man. So I'm like, this guy gotta be like
you literally would have had to have read would have had to have read Avengers comics in like the 80s and 90s to have any real intimate understanding of who this character is. But it's important. So there's two things. There's a couple other things that came up. Remember we talked about that they're making a Vision show. I think did we talk about that? I can't. Did we talk about them making a Vision? Okay, so they're making a Vision show. They're getting the writers' room and everything together. And so between that and the fact that Wanda Maximoff probably isn't dead, so the three of them are involved in something of a love triangle. Vision, the android, originally his mind was cloned, if you will, from Simon Williams. Simon was romantically involved with Wanda at one point. That's why Vision, at least in the comics, was in love with Wanda, and why they ended up being together. Now, of course, there's something different than in the MCU, but we know that White Vision does not have the original Vision's. He does not have the original Vision's actual brain patterns. And so maybe he'll get them from Simon Williams. So there's a potential of Simon and Wanda, having a thing going. We'll see. And I'm sure that'll make plenty of fandom in this types mad too. I hope it makes them mad. So Anyway, that's all very interesting. I can't believe I forgot about the whole Wonder Vision thing, but it's just suffice it to say they're working on a TV show. That's my understanding. So, anyway, we'll let you guys know more about this. It's great news about Wonder Man when we get more information. Real quick casting note for DC. I know we don't do a lot of DC news because they're sort of stewing over there doing their thing behind the scenes, but Colin Farrell's Penguin series got a new cast member in the form of Kristen Milioti, who's going to be playing the daughter of Carmine Falcone, who, as we all know, in the Batman he was killed. He was also the stool pigeon, and apparently, as the daughter of Carmine Falcone, she is going to be battling with the Penguin over control of Gotham's underworld, which I find this an extremely interesting, casting choice, because the woman who's playing she's very good. Like Kristen Milioti, she's a very good actor. I've seen her in several things over the last few years that I thought were really great. And also, she most recently was in this show called Made for Love, and she was also in this comedy called Palm Springs. And so, first of all, they got a very talented actor. Second, I think it's awesome that there's going to be a gang war over who's going to ultimately control the the underworld of Gotham, and having Falcone's gang and having Penguin go at it. That's going to be crazy. So anyway, Ladi, I don't know if you're aware of this woman's work, but the Falcones don't play.
Yep. So this is Catwoman's sister. Okay.
Maybe not sister, but
Yeah, they're sisters. Because remember, Catwoman is Falcone's daughter.
She's the illegitimate daughter. But yes.
So I just hope to hear that theme song again one more time in the show. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, that's cool. Like, honestly, man, like I remember I was like listening to somebody talk about how like Gotham is like it's its own character. Yeah, I think some people need to realize like this is like something that DC can make a lot of money off of. Like we don't have to only have a Batman movie to get the universe of Gotham. You know what I mean? Like it would be nice to have just spin-off shows talking about the inner cities, the inner gang of how it got, because a lot of people don't know about how, because a lot of people who grew up watching Batman, they only know about the over-the-top Batman, the Batman with like Clayface and Mr. Freeze and Killer Croc. They only know the over-the-top Batman. They don't know grounded Batman. They don't know young Batman's grounded adventures where he was fighting against gang members and thugs. It was just really just the Penguin, the Joker, Two-Face, Falcone, you know what I mean? That's what Batman fought. But then the over-the-top villain started showing up.
Yeah, this is true. Like I think it's pretty clear from the Batman that was where his focus is. He's young, and he's got I don't expect to actually see Batman in this show, but I do expect his exploits to sort of be running in the background. But Gotham's seedy underbelly. It's full of competing gangs, and they've kind of carved the city up and everything like that. And Falcone's his betrayal, his being the stool pigeon, and how that blows back onto his daughter and the whole Falcone crime family. That's going to be interesting as the Penguin tries to sort of take all of that away. I personally, I love gang stuff like that, and in the context of Gotham cities, it's going to be grimy as shit. That's to me, it's going to be part grimy, part like they're in these penthouse mansions and everything like that. Sort of like mafiosos, and hopefully we'll see more GCPD. So I just think this. I think it's great. This is a good. I think this is a good choice. She doesn't quite fit the physical build that we traditionally goes for, Falcone's daughter. But maybe she doesn't need to. Maybe it's more Game of Thrones than it is. The Godfather. So we're gonna see. We'll let you guys know more as we hear more. And finally, this is just a quick little bit rumor. I just wanted to talk about real quick that I saw today. Um, Grace Randolph, is a person I follow, who does a lot of scoops and so forth, says that a Sony and Marvel Spider-Man deal is as near to completion. That they're coming close, and that she hints that this is about Spider-Man 4 and other Avengers things. Now we know for sure that Tom Holland is on the hook for at least one more Avengers thing, because he had his movie. He had one more Avengers thing after they kind of extended the deal. So this is about making a new one for Spider-Man 4. She says later on that it probably is going to involve Toby and Andrew. So, Lottie, we're back to speculation, like we were before No Way Home came out. So you hear all of this. Do you think it's likely that they are gonna, do another Spider-Man deal? And how likely do you think that Toby and Andrew actually are involved? Or in fact, does this have any bearing on whether or not we get Amazing Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 4?
Listen, man, listen. Moneybag Mickey.
Backing up the dump truck right now.
I came out. Moneybag Mickey is not dumb. Moneybag Mickey is looking at this right now and saying, you know what? Money, 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 money. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to get another. They're going to make a Into the Spider-Verse live action movie. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Let's just be patient. They're going to introduce Miles Morales eventually. We're going to get Spider-Gwen. It's coming. Actually, to be honest with you, I was like telling people that honestly, do they need to put I was like talking about this with somebody. Do they even need to introduce Miles Morales? They already have him as an Into the Spider-Verse thing. They can make Into the Spider-Verse 3, the live action version where he goes to their universes. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, but still, I mean, that's all Sony. That's Sony doing what they want. We're kind of really more concerned about Tom.
I know
Holland.
what you're talking about,
Tom
Secret Wars and stuff.
Tom Holland continuing to be in the MCU. They hint at the fact that he's still in the MCU, and also, he's contractually obligated to be in another Avengers movie, for presumably Kang, but you can't have him in Kang Dynasty and not in Secret Wars. That makes no sense. So I have to say I do believe this, because honestly, what does Sony have to lose out of this? If you really think about it, what do they have to lose? They got $1 billion film in No Way Home, and they shared. They shared part of that pot. Marvel didn't get all of that. That's really more so because it was Sony's movie. Marvel just made it. So there's money to be had being associated with the MCU. Also, that doesn't mean that they can't do anything with Toby and Andrew if they are game to do more movies. I think No Way Home pretty much cleared the way for that because the pop that those two got, it's clear that we the fans want more from them. And as far as keeping Tom Holland relevant, how do you keep Tom? If they spun him out into his own little universe that never saw the rest of the MCU, I don't think it works. I don't think it sells the way uh, his other stuff does. So I see no reason for Sony not to do this. And Marvel, obviously, they just want Spider-Man around because it's pretty clear that since he's been in the MCU, people have wanted more MCU. They're always asking, "Where's Spider-Man? What's he doing? What's he doing?" So I think I buy this. I mean, Lottie, you buy it too, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So we're in agreement. This is 100% true. You heard it here, probably 37th, but you heard it here. We're saying it's happening. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna keep an eye on that going forward, and hopefully we'll get some new Spider-Man information very soon. So that's all of our news for the week. Fun time. We ranted a lot, or I ranted a lot, but maybe we missed some things, or maybe just had something to say regarding our thoughts and our comments. Get down to the comment section. Let us know your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And also get down there, do us a favor, hit that like button and hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those things. They help with the algorithm, more people to see this podcast and this channel. Really appreciate that. Also, if you're in the mood to show love, my good friend Ladi, it helps me out on this show. He has his social. So, Ladi, where can they go see you?
If you guys actually want to see real Instagram content, come to my Instagram. Anu Kinihun. Anu Kinihun. ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. You'll actually see wholesome content on there, like actual content, not some. And also you can follow my YouTube channel, which is KeenyHoon25. So whenever you have time, guys, just come over. You can follow me, leave a like, a comment, or subscribe.
Yeah, you guys go and show Lottie some love. Definitely better than whatever that other dude's name was, by far. All right, all you Fabricants and Fleshbags, thanks for joining us on the 74th episode of the Supercast. Come back next week. Number 75, I can't believe that. Maybe we'll do something special for it. We definitely are going to be kind of previewing, if you will, Black Panther 2. So come back for that. Until then, I've been Mo de Poupée, resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.